All right, everybody. Dr. Rafich here, Vet Triage, 5:26 p.m. Pacific Time, 8:26 p.m. East Coast, September 11th, 9/11. And we're going to talk about dog breath. Yep, let's talk about it. Very common issue. Bad breath in dogs. So we call it halitosis. That's the medical term for it in people and in dogs and cats. And let's go over the possibilities and what to do about it, all that stuff. You may notice that your dog or cat has bad breath. Obviously, they don't voluntarily floss their teeth, brush their teeth. In order for them to have a dental cleaning, requires full anesthesia. Any vet who tells you otherwise is crap. It always requires anesthesia to do the work appropriately for dental cleaning in dogs and cats. And for those factors and other factors like genetics and eating habits and wear and tear on the teeth, animals can have bad breath. It's very common, and it's usually the most number one reason is dental disease, dental infections, gingivitis, that kind of stuff is the most common thing. February in the vet field is considered dental month, which is also crap. It should be just something you push all year round. Even though you can get a good deal financially during dental month in February, it's not always the best quality of care because it's all discounted and stuff. But anyway, dental disease is the most common issue for both dogs and cats by far. And some dogs can get away with one dental cleaning every year, every couple of years. Sometimes other dogs just need it every year or even more frequent than that. It's just a matter of genetics and lifestyle, all that stuff we just mentioned. Just like in people, some kids get cavities really easily. Some don't get any cavities, even if they eat a ton of candy. A lot of it depends on genetics. So that is a huge factor of it, not just how much care you give to your teeth, but also genetics. So dental disease is number one most common thing, and that's of course evaluated by your veterinarian. Vet triage can help with that as well in terms of like figuring out that's the cause. But your vet will look in the mouth even further and probably get blood work, skull X-rays, and then from there recommend dental cleaning. Dental cleaning is called prophylaxis, and if they have to remove any teeth, it's called extractions. Now, second cause of bad breath, and now this is not really in any particular order. In your middle-aged to larger to older animals, oral tumors are a concern, cancerous growths, and sometimes, if you're lucky, the cancerous growth will be at the front of the mouth where you can see it while it's still small. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's actually in the midsection of the back of the mouth, and because of the way the snouts of dogs are shaped, it's not very easy for us human beings to identify a tumor until you start smelling the bad breath. You see blood-tinged saliva. You'll see some blood in their water bowls when you go drinking. But because the tumor over time is getting traumatized by the chewing and swallowing, and also eventually tumors can outgrow their blood supply, which makes them become rotten, basically dying. And then you get an infection and the smell and all that stuff. So tumors are a second cause. Third cause are foreign bodies. So let's say your dog loves chewing on things that are cloth material, carpets, rugs, toys that have cloth in them, whatever it is. I've seen cases where these cloth items, materials can get trapped around the base of the teeth and cause severe gingivitis. I've seen them around the tongue as well. And dogs may not be bothered by it until it's really, really bad, but you'll start noticing gingivitis and infection and smell and all that stuff. So foreign bodies is another cause of this. And then the fourth cause of it would be something actually in the body. So let's say, for example, you have a pet that's got really bad kidney disease. And those of you who are watching this in the playback may be familiar with it. You can smell an abnormality in their breath when they have organ disease, organ failure, kidneys being probably the most common. But sometimes bad breath is a manifestation of systemic disease and not always local disease. So if you want to think about halitosis in two broad categories, there's local disease in the mouth and then systemic disease, which is in the body. And I guess one final one, just to do 5 here. If your dog likes to ingest fecal matter from other species or their own poops, that also will create grossness in the mouth and, of course, make bad breath. So a lot of dogs love like deer droppings and stuff like that. It's gross. And so we can always talk about ways to stop that at another live stream. And then, of course, vet triage can help with a lot of these things, at least in terms of like figuring it out, because you may smell the breath one day and it seems like it's all of a sudden, but in actuality, it's probably been there for weeks or months or even longer. You just gotten used to it. And then for some reason it gets worse. And then you're like, oh man, I never noticed this, but probably it's been there for a while. Because all the conditions I'm mentioning to you are chronic conditions. It takes time for the breath to become bad. So these aren't really acute problems. In fact, bad breath in general is a chronic issue. It's not an acute problem. So yeah, well, anyway, so that's it. Obviously, in terms of prognosis and treatment intervention, it depends on what the diagnosis is. So like dental disease, you're more on dental cleaning and extractions. If you have a tumor in the mouth, you want to have surgery to remove the tumor. If you have a foreign body in the mouth, you want to have the foreign body removed and the mouth cleaned out. So if your dog eats poop all the time, then you need to have behavioral modification. So all those factors come into play. If your dog has kidney disease or some other systemic disease, there are treatments for that. Not always, but anyway, there's treatments for that. So all the treatments, all the prognoses depends on what the cause is for the bad breath. All right. I hope that helps everybody out there. Thanks for those who support the channel and watching the playback. I will be on again September 12th for another tantalizing live stream. Bye. Bye. Bye.